Hi, this is David Comfort from Democracy Action Network. What if I told you that the most powerful tool for understanding politics isn't polling data or election maps? It's actually psychology textbooks from the 1950s. Here's what's actually wild. Everything we're seeing right now, this whole political moment, follows patterns that researchers mapped out decades ago when they were studying how normal people get swept up in authoritarian movements. And here's the crazy part. Once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them. But more importantly, you start to realize that none of this is permanent, and there are actual proven ways to help people break free. Ever notice how political arguments feel so personal now? Like, weirdly personal? There's actually a term for this: identity fusion. It's when your sense of self gets completely tangled up with your political tribe. So when someone criticizes your candidate, your brain literally processes it as a personal attack. This is honestly crazy, but researchers can predict this stuff. When institutions start failing, when people lose trust in media, courts, elections, they don't just get mad. They start looking for a strongman figure who promises simple answers to complex problems. It's like clockwork throughout history. But here's what's fascinating. This isn't about intelligence. Smart people fall for this too, because it's not really about facts. It's about belonging, identity, and feeling seen. Trump figured out something that Democrats often miss. People don't just vote for policies, they vote for who makes them feel like they matter. Now, the information bubble thing is real, but it's also kind of absurd when you step back and look at it. We've literally created parallel realities where the same event gets completely different interpretations. It's like we're all living in different movies. But what if I told you this has happened before? The 1930s had radio demagogues in the United States and Hitler and Mussolini in Europe. The difference now is the speed and the algorithms that keep people trapped in their bubbles. The unfair part? Social media companies profit from keeping us angry and divided because outrage drives engagement. They've literally gamified polarization. Here's what gives me hope, though. We've been here before, and we've found our way out. Think about it. We survived McCarthyism. We survived the Civil War. We even survived the actual Nazis. Every time it felt impossible in the moment, but people figured out how to rebuild trust and move forward. What's different this time is that we actually understand the psychology now. We know that shame doesn't work. It just makes people dig in deeper. We know that facts alone don't change minds. But we also know what does work: genuine connection, meeting people where they are, and offering real solutions to real problems. So here's the puzzle we're solving together. How do we build bridges without compromising our values? How do we fight authoritarianism with democracy instead of becoming authoritarian ourselves? First, we stop trying to shame people out of their beliefs. That's never worked in human history. Instead, we offer better belonging, real community based on care, not fear. Second, we get serious about fixing the actual problems that made people desperate enough to follow a demagogue in the first place. Economic inequality, social isolation, institutional failure. These aren't just talking points. They're the soil where authoritarianism grows. Third, we remember that most people in that movement aren't true believers. They're hurt, scared, and looking for meaning. And hurt people can heal. Look, I'm not saying this is easy, but we're literally the generation that figured out how to carry computers in our pockets and cure diseases with modified viruses. We can definitely figure out how to have better conversations with our neighbors. The beautiful thing about democracy is that it's anti-fragile. It gets stronger when it's challenged, as long as we keep showing up. Every time we choose curiosity over contempt, every time we build something instead of just tearing down, every time we prove that our way actually works better, we're not just winning arguments, we're building the future. This isn't just about the next election. This is about proving that a diverse democracy can solve big problems and take care of its people. That's the story I want to be part of. That's the story we're writing together. And honestly, I think we're going to surprise ourselves with how good we are at this. This is David Comfort from Democracy Action Network. Peace. You can sign up for Dan by scanning this QR code.